them out, bring them out. VIP coming live.
Starting on the mound, a sophomore from Ball State, number 14, Keegan Johnson.
Hello and welcome to Criswell Automotive Field in Gaithersburg, Maryland, as we're set to start Game 1 of the LCS semifinals between the Bethesda Big Train and the Gaithersburg Giants. Hi everyone, I'm Quentin Corthuel, joined alongside Phoebe Winters as the two-seeded Giants will look to protect home field here in Game 1 against the Big Train, the number 3 seed in the Rifkin League playoffs, coming off of a dominant 16-4 Mercy Rule victory over the Metro SoCo Braves last night at Shirley Povich Field. Phoebe Winters, I want to get your thoughts as we're about to start in a few moments here from Criswell Automotive Field. What did you like about the Big Train's performance last night that you hope carries over into tonight, although it might not be as dominant?
What I liked best was the consistency with the offense. We've seen so often the Big Train will put a couple of runs on the board to start the game and then the bats go cold in the middle of the game. That's not what happened last night, and that's not what happened when they played the DC Grays to end the regular season. They kept the bats hot throughout the entire game, and that consistency, that continuous momentum from the plate gave them a lot of success to Mercy Rule the Braves last night, and I'm hoping they'll be able to carry that consistency from the plate into tonight.
Again, the Big Train winning 16-4 last night, the same score as their regular season finale over the DC Grays, so they've outscored their last two opponents by a combined score of 32-8 as the first offering to Justin Nato from Keegan Johnson is in there for a strike.
Now, Justin Nato was a newer addition to the Big Train lineup, has only played 7 games, but is batting a .344 average. Only played 7 games this summer, and he's already batting over a 300.
0-1 pitch is fouled off down the first base line for strike 2. Justin Nato actually going yard for the first time all season. Didn't have one in his limited action in the regular season, but took one over the right field fence. One of 2 that was hit by the Big Train last night. As that one hits Justin Nato, so a quick bailout for the Big Train. As that'll bring up the man who hit the second of 2 homers for the Big Train last night. The one that ended the game, Andrew Williamson.
Andrew Williamson has been a machine for the Big Train. He comes up big in huge moments. We saw it in Silver Spring when his grand slam tied the game at 7, and we saw it last night, his home run, giving the Big Train a Mercy Rule victory last night.
First offering to Williamson, and off speed in there for strike 1. Williamson had not reached base prior to his last at-bat, but it was almost seemingly fate that he would end the game in style as he'll lay down a bunt down the left field line. That one's called off by the third baseman, Colin Gibbs. They can't make the throw over to first in time. So Williamson is aboard safely, Nato into second. Some good early momentum here for the Big Train.
13, Luke
that'll bring
Vaughn.
up the catcher, Luke Vaughn.
Vaughn also had one heck of a night last night over at Shirley Povich Field. His first at-bat, a double, which brought in the first 2 runs of the game, and was able to reach base on all 5 at-bats last night. Hoping for a continuation of that success from the plate here tonight.
Let's see if Vaughn can stay crimson hot against a very good pitcher in Keegan Johnson, won MAC Freshman of the Year at Ball State last year as Vaughn pulls back on a bunt attempt outside for ball 1. Johnson along with Zach Kwasny, who has been arguably the best pitcher in the entire Ripken League this summer for the Alexandria Aces. Them two were the 1-2 punch at Ball State this past spring. Vaughn showing bunt again. He'll miss on that attempt for strike 1. Now Johnson over the summer has made just 2 appearances, hasn't pitched since June 20th. But it's understandable when you consider the fact that Johnson pitched 65 innings last spring for the Cardinals en route to winning MAC Freshman Pitcher of the Year. Vaughn showing bunt again. Here comes the 1-1, gets that one down. Headed to Gibbs, fields it cleanly, fires over to first in time for out number 1. But Vaughn does exactly what he intended to do, moving both runners into scoring position.
The first baseman,
and
number
that'll bring up the
45,
first baseman
Emilio
and cleanup
Gonzalez.
hitter Emilio Gonzalez.
Now we've seen the Big Train rely on that strategy a lot, and it's become more and more consistent and effective as the season's moved on. You saw Vaughn lay down a bunt to push runners to second and third, putting the first out on the board, but doing his job, moving the next man forward.
So here's Gonzalez. Corner infielders playing shallow. The first pitch is ripped into left field. Under it for out number 2 is Matthew Best. Tagging up is Nato. He's in. So the Big Train, just like they did the last time they were here, striking first in the top of the first. This time courtesy of a sacrifice fly by Emilio Gonzalez. That'll bring up Jaden Bastian with 2 outs and a runner on second in Andrew Williamson. First offering from Keegan Johnson, that one outside for a ball. Now Johnson, as maybe implied by his accolades last season, not just the MAC Freshman Pitcher of the Year, but made first team all-conference as well, allowed just 36 runs to go along with 83 strikeouts. The 1-0 to Bastian, that one fouled off down the right field line and out of play. That'll bring the count to 1-1.
Now Bastian had a very successful night from the plate last night. Was able to reach base on all 5 at-bats. Took 3 walks. Got off 1 hit and was also hit by a pitch.
His bat has been hot to end the regular season and was productive last night, as he'll take the 1-1 pitch in there for strike 2. Now behind Bastian in the lineup is Davin Whitaker waiting on deck. In the bottom of the order, Matt Westley, Jordan Crosland, and Landon Franklin. Franklin subbing in for Keenan Bowman last night, getting the start tonight in game 1 of the LCS semis. The 1-2 pitch, check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. Much to the dismay of the Giants faithful. The infield was ready to head to the dugout there, but will have to go back as the count is now evened up at 2 with 2 outs. Keegan Johnson pitching to number 2. The Big Train looking for their second run of the game. The 2-2 pitch. That one popped up into right center field. And Tyler DiMartino's got it for out number 3. But the Big Train draw first blood here in the 2-3 semis matchup. Emilio Gonzalez bringing Justin Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. Bethesda drawing first blood here in Game 1 of the LCS semifinals. It'll be Evan Smith getting the call to start for the Big Train, facing the leadoff hitter and Big Train killer, A.J. Martin.
It was at Shirley Povich Field when these two teams faced off last that A.J. Martin hit his second grand slam against the Big Train at Shirley Povich Field.
Now, as Martin fouls the first pitch off for a strike, it is worth noting that Martin tied a Ripken League record, ending the season on a 24-game hit streak, as the 0-1 is fouled off again for strike 2. Went 0 for 4 against the Big Train in the season opener, but recorded a hit in his next 24 games, 25 if you include the Ripken League All-Star game where he went 1 for 2. Here comes the 0-2. That one inside for a ball. Now Evan Smith enters tonight with 23 innings under his belt, sporting a 5.87 ERA. Here comes the 1-2. That one hit high and deep into right field. Back goes Davin Whitaker at the warning track at the wall. It is off the wall. Martin rounding second. He will stop right there. It's a leadoff stand-up double for A.J. Martin. A great start here for the Giants in the bottom of the first.
An excellent response to the Big Train, who drew first blood, as you mentioned.
The center fielder, number 23, Aiden
Now this is the Big
Robbins.
Train's biggest concern, striking first but not tacking on enough insurance to maintain the lead.
The last time the Big Train played here at Criswell Automotive Field, they scored 1 run at the top of the first, just like they did tonight, but were held scoreless the rest of the way en route to a 3-1 defeat. First offering to Aiden Robbins is ripped into left for a base hit. Rounding third is Martin. In comes a throw from Bastion. It's cut off. Martin will score easily, and in the blink of an eye, the Giants have tied it at 1, courtesy of fellow Ripken League All-Star Aiden Robbins.
Now it's important to note that the 2 times the Big Train have played here at Gaithersburg, it's been a very low-scoring game. The first time we were in Gaithersburg, it was a 4-3 win for the Giants, and then the last time they were here was a 3-1 win for the Giants. But with the Giants' bats being so hot early on, could be looking at a very high-scoring affair tonight.
And so that'll bring up Danny Sheeler, who was the hero the first time these two teams met here in Gaithersburg. A walk-off 2 RBI base hit against Max Martzoff with the Giants down 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Throughout the season has earned himself the nickname of Train Conductor for how well he performs against the Big Train. Big Train looking to shut him down tonight.
As Robbins is sent back to first by Evan Smith. The Big Train have had arguably the most trouble with the Giants out of any team in the Ripken League this season, losing the season series 4-2. As the 1-0 pitch, a big swing and a miss for strike 1. Now the Big Train ended the season hot, winning 9 of their last 11 regular season games. Their only 2 losses were to the Giants. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one just missing for a ball.
The Giants ended their regular season on a bit of a sour note, a 9-7 loss to the Alexandria Aces, who took the Southern Division title.
The Aces and the Senators currently playing in Alexandria in Game 1 of that LCS semifinal series. That one starting at 6:30 from Frank Mann Field. The 2-1 to Sheeler, that one upstairs for ball 3. Now waiting on deck is the designated hitter, Brendan Kleiman. Danny Sheeler batting almost 400 in 48 at-bats so far this season. Here comes the 3-1 from Smith. That one's popped up into center field. Under it is Andrew Williamson, and he's got it for out number 1. So Danny Sheeler is retired. That'll bring up Kleiman with Robbins still on first. 1 out now here in the bottom of the first.
As you mentioned, Quentin, the other LCS semifinal being played at Frank Mann Field. It's currently the top of the 4th inning. Southern Maryland currently leading 1-0 over the Aces.
Boy, would that be a huge upset if the Senators are able to take that series. Southern Maryland entering the playoffs with a 16-20 record, as the first pitch to Brendan Kleiman is low for a ball. The Aces achieving the Ripken League's top seed for a second year in a row. But in series that are just best of 3, truly anything is possible, as there's a big swing and a miss for strike 1.
The Senators played their play-in game last night at Regency Furniture Stadium, a 14-4 victory over the Crop Dusters.
Here comes the 1-1. That one fouled off for strike 2. The Senators definitely felt like they were in an advantageous position with the playoff format of the number 4 seed going to second place in the South Division, as the Crop Dusters enter the playoffs with a better regular season record than the Senators, as the 1-2 pitch is fouled off once again. But because the Senators finished second in the South Division and the Crop Dusters finished third in the North Division, it was the Senators hosting that play-in game. And as you said, Phoebe, they dominated, and ending the Crop Duster season on a sour note, as they were looking to make noise in the postseason just like they had the past couple of seasons. That one's grounded through the hole on the right side, base hit. Justin Nato unable to range all the way over, almost towards the first base half of the gulf between first and second. But nevertheless, it's another base hit for the Giants.
Brady Powell.
That'll bring up the second baseman, Brady Powell. Evan Smith in an early jam here. Actually got the start on opening day against the Giants. Allowed just 3 hits and 1 earned in 4 innings pitched. First offering to Brady Powell, that one upstairs for a ball. Also made an appearance the last time these two teams met at Shirley Povich Field on July 13th. Smith allowing just 1 hit and 1 earned run in 3 innings pitched. That game saw the Giants clinch the North Division title with a 12-5 victory, as the 1-0 is fouled off. That'll even up the count. Brady Powell, another North Division All-Star, has enjoyed a very successful summer, batting just under 300. One of just 3 Gaithersburg Giants with at least 30 hits on the season, along with Aiden Robbins and A.J. Martin. As we just had a quick mound visit between Smith and catcher Luke Vaughn. Now out in the field, it's Matt Westley at third, Landon Franklin at short, Justin Nato at second, Emilio Gonzalez at first, Jaden Bastion in left field, Andrew Williamson in center, and Davin Whitaker in right, with Jordan Crosland playing designated here. That one's ripped down the left field line, but foul. Almost saw the Giants take the lead there again. Runners on first and second.
Again, with only 1 out on the board, Big Train looking to get themselves out of a jam and not let the Giants take the lead early on.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one popped up into shallow right field. Davin Whitaker's under it. He's got it for out number 2. And so a productive out there for the Big Train, as both runners will stay. That'll bring up the catcher, Barham White.
Number 31, Barham White.
Now Barham White, like many players in the Ripken League, was not on the Giants' original roster. Made his first appearance on June 10th. That was the game where the Giants walked off the Big Train here at Criswell Automotive Field, as the first pitch to White is upstairs for a ball. White entering tonight, recording a hit in 5 of his last 6 games. Just a few days ago in Southern Maryland, went 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs. Here comes the 1-0 from Smith. That one paints the inside part of the plate for a strike. Count 1-1 on Barham White. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. The Giants knotting things up at 1. The 1-1 offering, that one's fouled off the glove of Luke Vaughn. That'll bring the count to 1-2 on White. Now following him in the lineup is the right fielder Tyler DiMartino, the left fielder Matthew Best, and the third baseman Colin Gibbs. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Good block by Vaughn. That'll even up the count at 2. Barham White, a Louisianan through and through, born in Monroe, currently playing his college ball at UL Monroe. Here comes the 2-2. There's a high fly ball in the left center field. Williamson calls off Bastion, and he's got it for out number 3. But the Giants, with an immediate answer in the bottom of the first.
But we head to the second inning, tied at 1.
We are heading into the top of the second. We'll be back shortly here on Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. We're all knotted at 1 as we start the top of the second with Davin Whitaker leading things off, followed by Matt Westley and Jordan Crosland. It'll be 6-7-8 for the Big Train, facing Keegan Johnson. His first offering to Whitaker is low for a ball. Davin Whitaker, a couple home runs and 23 RBIs on the season.
Was a part of the starting lineup last night, was unable to reach base but had a couple of productive at-bats moving runners forward.
There's a line shot right to Martin at short for out number 1. So good contact, bad result there for Whitaker as Matt Westley will step up to the plate.
Just for you, Patrick, just for you.
First offering to Westley, that one a swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch in the dirt for strike 1.
Hey, Chappie, it could be worse. I'm an Everton fan. Yeah, that is pretty terrible. Thank you.
The 0-1 from Johnson. Westley not taking that pitch in the dirt. That'll even up the count at 1. Jordan Crosland playing the role of Owen Lieber there and retrieving that passed ball. Where is Owen Lieber?
He's here. I saw him grab the...
I guess he is the bat boy and not the ball boy. As that one is chopped over to third. Glove by Gibbs. Fires it over to first. They cannot get the out. The throw too high for Sheeler. So Westley will reach base safely, bringing up Crosland with a runner on first and 1 out.
A lot of power behind that shot and an excellent result, getting a runner on base. Again, the Big Train hoping not to lose momentum from the plate and regain the lead.
Jordan Crosland had a productive night last night, as did Most everyone who stepped up to the plate for the Big Train against the Braves in that 16-4 Mercy Rule victory, as Wesley is sent back to first by Johnson. The first offering to Crosland in the dirt. Good block by White. The count 1-0 on the native of Suffolk, Virginia, the Maryland Terrapin. Made the most at-bats for the Big Train in the regular season, beating Jaden Bastian by just 3 for the team lead. Wesley sent back to first again. Crosland had a couple of home runs to go along with 18 RBIs. As that one's grounded foul down the third base line, that'll even up the count at 1. Crosland also finishing second on the team behind Bastian in steals with 11. Bastian leading the team in the regular season with 13. Here comes the 1-1. That one fouled off for strike 2. Crosland getting under the fastball there from Johnson.
Waiting on deck is Landon Franklin, the shortstop for tonight. Made a pinch hitting appearance last night, recorded a double. In the game before that against the DC Grays, also made a pinch hitting appearance and recorded 1 walk.
The 1-2 offering from Johnson, upstairs for a ball. There goes Wesley to second. The throw there is not in time.
Saw a sliding effort from Powell at second. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get a good hand on the throw as he was sliding into the base.
I think White was about a half second too late to react to Wesley's steal attempt. That's his 4th swiped bag of the season. Now in scoring position with 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Franklin on deck. The 2-2 pitch. Off speed, swung on and missed for strike 3. So Crosland goes down swinging. That'll bring up Franklin with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. The Big Train looking to discontinue the trend of going cold after the first inning. First offering to Franklin, that one low, but in there for a strike. Franklin also set to cross the century mark in at-bats on the season, joining an exclusive club that is filled by only Whitaker, Bastian, Crosland, and soon Emilio Gonzalez, as well as Andrew Williamson, as he'll ground that pitch past the third baseman Gibbs and into left for a base hit. Speeding around third is Wesley. Here comes the throw from Best. It is offline. So Landon Franklin puts the Big Train back on top, singling home Wesley from second. It's 2-1 Bethesda.
Second baseman number 8, Justin
Landon Franklin
Nadeau.
is one of those players that has come clutch in huge moments for the Big Train. You've seen it a lot when he comes in as a pinch hitter. He makes really good hits at really important times. You see that there, keeping the inning alive, regaining the lead for the Big Train.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Now the tornado that is Justin Nadeau, hoping to continue that success and keep this inning going.
Was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat on an 0-2 count. Here comes the first offering from Johnson. That off speed is in there for a strike. Nadeau, a former Jacksonville Dolphin, will be a Florida Gator next season. Here comes the 0-1. That one upstairs for a ball. I heard they're pretty good at baseball.
It's also Nadeau's dream school since he was a kid.
Florida making it all the way to the Men's College World Series semifinals. The 1-1 pitch, that one in there for strike 2. Nadeau caught looking on the off-speed low. It was widely debated whether Florida should have even gotten in the first place over some powerful mid-majors like College of Charleston, for example. But Florida, just like almost like Ole Miss a couple of years ago, making a run through Omaha, as that one's fouled off to keep the count at 1-2 and keep NATO at the plate. Ole Miss in 2022 was the last team into the tournament, ended up beating Oklahoma in the College World Series championship. Another 1-2 pitch. That one upstairs for ball 2. Florida also in 2023 made it all the way to the final before falling to LSU. They were led by some guy named Paul Skeens, who I heard is okay at baseball, as that off-speed pitch just misses, bringing the count full on Justin Nato with Williamson waiting on deck. Paul Skeens becoming the first #1 draft pick to start the All-Star game in the same season he was drafted #1 overall. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Nato goes down swinging, but not before the Big Train answer.
1 run on 1 hit.
Courtesy of Landon Franklin. We'll be back for the bottom of the second shortly here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel.
Welcome back to Criswell Automotive Field here in historic Gaithersburg, Maryland. As Evan Smith set to face the bottom of the Giants lineup, right fielder Tyler DiMartino set to lead things off for Gaithersburg. The Big Train taking a 2-1 lead in the top of the second. Here comes the first offering from Evan Smith. That one grounded over to short, fielded cleanly by Franklin. Fires it over to first in time for out #1. So DiMartino is retired quickly. That'll bring up the left fielder Matthew Best.
The left fielder, number 22, Matthew Best.
Franklin on fire already. A base hit through the hole, giving the Big Train the 2-1 lead. And then an excellent scoop from short, recording the first out.
First offering is swung on and missed on a pitch in the dirt for strike 1. Matthew Best, a native of Germantown, Maryland, currently playing his college ball at UMBC, and an alumni of Good Counsel High School. The 0-1 pitch, that one in there for strike 2. Now this is his second straight summer playing summer ball. It was a member of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks in 2023. As the 0-2 pitch is fouled off, Best will stay alive here against Evan Smith.
I stayed for like a half hour. 8-2-9-2-1-1.
Best will be followed in the lineup by the third baseman, Colin Gibbs. And then that'll kick it back to the top of the lineup with A.J. Martin. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That one fouled off once again. Now it's a beautiful night here in Gaithersburg, Maryland, a town whose roots date back all the way to the 18th century. The 0-2 pitch, off speed, in there for strike 3. So Matthew is bested for out number 2. That'll bring up Colin Gibbs.
Evan Smith's first strikeout of the
Number
evening.
29, Colin Gibbs.
Recovering well after the first at-bat, recorded a double, allowing the Giants to tie up the game.
First offering to Gibbs. That one's popped foul, out of play. Headed towards the turf field at Harriet Tubman Elementary School that is adjacent to Criswell Automotive Field. Here comes the 0-1. That one in the dirt. That'll even up the count at 1. Harriet Tubman Elementary, a new facility, a beautiful facility, not just a turf soccer field, but a very nice basketball court. As the 1-1 pitch outside for ball 2. The 2-1 offering from Evan Smith. That one high for ball 3. Waiting on deck is A.J. Martin. Here comes the 3-1. That one grounded through the hole on the right side for a base hit. So Colin Gibbs splitting Gonzalez and Nadeau like a pair of uprights. That'll bring up the shortstop Martin with 2 outs and a runner on first.
Now over at Frank Mann Field, the Southern Maryland Senators have taken a 4-0 lead over the Aces, currently in the top of the 5th inning. Ken Martin started off the evening with a double.
There's a big swing and a miss for strike 1. Now, including the All-Star game and the postseason, A.J. Martin has recorded a hit in 26 straight games. The 0-1. There's a high fly ball in the deep left field, but Bastian's got it for out number 3. That one rocketing off the bat of Martin, but rolling into the glove of Bastian. The Big Train maintain a 2-1 lead. We'll be back for the top of the 3rd shortly here on Big Train Baseball Network. Gonzalez.
And gone on base, so he's already extended his streak of reaching base at least once during every game.
As the 1-0 is fouled off into the backstop. Williamson, a towering shot last night. A 3-run bomb that ended the game early in the 8th. As the 1-1 pitch swung on and missed for strike 2. Now we also saw Williamson strike out a couple of times, very uncharacteristic. He'll hope to buck that trend tonight as the Big Train look to knock off the Giants here and give themselves early momentum. Williamson caught looking on the fastball for strike 3. So that'll bring up Luke Vaughn with 1 out.
The catcher number 13, Luke Vaughn.
Vaughn caught in the outfield during his previous at-bat. Looking for a more productive at-bat this time around to further the Big Train's lead.
As Vaughn takes a fastball from Johnson in there for a strike. Again, Keegan Johnson, the 2024 MAC Freshman Pitcher of the Year. Made first team all-conference as well. Allowed just 36 earned runs to go along with 83 strikeouts in 65 innings pitched. As the count quickly moves to 0-2, Luke Vaughn seeing a couple of fastballs go by early. Waiting on deck is Emilio Gonzalez. Here comes the 0-2. Off speed, grounded over to second. Fielded by Powell. Flip it over to Sheeler for out number 2. So Vaughn is retired. That'll bring up Gonzalez with 2 outs and no one on.
Emilio Gonzalez.
During Gonzalez's previous at-bat, hit a sac fly to push runners into scoring position at second and third.
Big Train looking to catalyze a little 2-out magic here. Would love to give themselves a little early insurance, as that first offering is a fastball that misses for ball 1. We've seen the Big Train do such a great job of that, not just last night against the Braves, but in the home stretch of the regular season, jumping out to early leads in, giving their pitchers a lot of room of error to work with, as that one's popped up into left field. Ranging over his best towards the line, he's got it for out number 3. So the Big Train held scoreless in a half inning for the first time all evening. They still lead 2-1. We'll be back after a quick commercial break here on Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network.
23, Aiden Robbins.
Evan Smith still on the bump for the Big Train. It'll be 2-3-4 due up for the Giants with Aiden Robbins leading things off. Recorded a base hit in his last at-bat. Smith trying to exact revenge on the top of this Giants order that gave him a lot of trouble in the top of the first as that first pitch is fouled off. Now we saw last night Joey Wimpelberg not only get the start, but able to last far into the game as that one's low for a ball. The Big Train hoping Smith can do so like he has a bunch of times this season. He proved this spring at Maryland that he can go deep into a game. Went 6 innings against Boston College back on May 12th as the 1-1 pitch is outside for a ball. Smith pitching 34 1/3 for the Terrapins last spring with a 5.24 ERA to go along with 37 strikeouts. 2-1 to Robbins, fouled back into the glove of Vaughn. That'll even up the count at 2. Waiting on deck is Danny Sheeler. The 2-2. That one grounded past a diving Wesley at third for a base hit.
So Robbins with back-to-back base hits.
So that'll bring up Danny
baseman,
Sheeler
number
with a
46,
runner on first.
Danny Sheeler.
And still no outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Sheeler was retired in his last at-bat.
Looking to live up to his nickname of train conductor.
That first pitch from Smith in there for a strike. Danny Sheeler for the Salisbury Seagulls won Conference Player of the Year in 2023. This past season, recorded 7 homers and 44 RBIs for the Seagulls as that pitch is upstairs for a ball. And it also included a .367 batting average and 17 multi-hit games. Here comes the 1-1. That one lined right to Nato at second. On to first. Unable to get the double play. Came oh so close.
Just a half a second too slow.
The designated hitter, number 17.
And so that'll bring up Brendan Kleiman with 1 out. Robbins still at first. Almost had a Floridian connection there between Nato and Gonzalez at first for what would have been a pretty sweet double play, as the first offering to Kleiman is low for a ball. Now we've talked about Keegan Johnson being a star in the Mid-American Conference. Brendan Kleiman hoping to do the same in Eastern Michigan. That one popped into right center field. Whitaker's under it, and he's got it for out number 2. Robbins will stay at first. So a productive out for the Big Train there, as that'll bring up Brady Powell.
The second baseman, number 19, Brady Powell.
Brady Powell has been one of several mid-major monsters here in the Ripken League this summer, playing his college ball at Radford. A transfer from George Mason, as the first offering is outside for a ball. The 1-0 to Powell. That one just missing for ball 2. Again, the Big Train looking to pick up a crucial Game 1 victory and steal home field advantage from the Giants. Bethesda looking for their 11th Ripken League title. Would be their 3rd in 4 years since the COVID-19 pandemic. As that pitch is in there for a strike. Were victorious in 2021 before the Aces got him back in 2022. But the Big Train responding in 2023 with another LCS Finals victory over Alexandria, as the count is now 3-1 on Powell. Waiting on deck is the catcher Barham White. The 3-1 pitch, that one grounded over to short, backhanded by Franklin onto second for out number 3. So Landon Franklin having a nice night over at short so far.
One man on base. We head to the 4th inning.
No runs on 1 hit for the Giants. 1 left on base. Bethesda still leading 2-1. We'll be back for the top of the 4th shortly here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Left fielder number 2, Jaden Bastion.
Welcome back to Criswell Automotive Field here in Gaithersburg, Maryland. The Big Train still leading 2-1 here in Game 1 of the LCS semifinals. Number 2 versus number 3, as number 2 for the Big Train, Jaden Bastion, will lead things off here in the top of the 4th inning.
It's going to be 5, 6, 7 due up for the Big Train.
First offering to Bastion, a swing and a miss. That one actually fouled back into the glove of White for strike 1.
Again, the Big Train currently leading 2-1, hoping to tack on a couple of insurance runs to secure the victory.
The 0-1 offering, that one also fouled back into the glove of White. That'll bring the count to 0-2 with Whitaker on deck. Here comes the 0-2. That one in the dirt for a ball. Keegan Johnson looking to follow up his fantastic freshman season with a stellar sophomore season for Ball State. A native of Frederick, Maryland, attended Urbana High School. Here comes the 1-2. Off speed, swung on and missed for strike 3. So Bastion is retired for the second time in 2 at-bats. That'll bring up Whitaker with 1 out and no one on. Whitaker made quality contact in his last at-bat. Unfortunately, hit a line drive right into the glove of A.J. Martin at short. First offering to Whitaker. That one grounded off of the backside of Johnson. Charging in is Gibbs. He will have no play. So a good old-fashioned rocket off the rear there for Davin Whitaker. He'll reach base safely, bringing up Matthew Westley with 1 out and a runner on first.
The third baseman, number 20, Matthew
Now we've talked
Westley.
a lot throughout the season. Davin Whitaker, very aggressive on the count, tends to swing at the first pitch, and it'll get the infield and the pitcher off guard, as you saw there, ricocheting off of pitcher Keegan Johnson. And the third baseman, Gibbs, unable to get to it in time to make a play.
So that'll bring up Matt Westley. That one's grounded over to second, could have a double play. Powell flips it over to second for 1. That one an overthrow at first. Danny Sheeler could not keep his foot on the bag as he had to jump for that throw from Martin. So Wesley will
The
reach base
designated
safely.
hitter number 1, Jordan Crossland.
Jordan Crosland will step up to the plate with 2 outs and Wesley on first. That one a clean scoop and pitch by Powell over to Martin. Unfortunately, Martin's fastball over to Sheeler at first was not on target. Let's see if Crosland can bounce back after striking out in his first at-bat. First offering to Crosland, that one up and away for a ball.
We saw Wesley get aggressive on the base path.
1-0, up and away again for a ball.
Earlier this evening. It'll be interesting to see if Wesley continues that streak of aggressive base stealing with 2 outs on the board.
The 2-0 to Crosland. There's a high fly ball into right field. Back goes DiMartino at the wall. It is gone! A big fly for Jordan Crosland. A 2-run shot puts the Big Train up 4-1. That is one powerful turtle.
A home run for Jordan Crosland, giving the Big Train a very comfortable 3-run lead.
The shortstop, number 22, Landon Franklin.
That one firing up the Big Train faithful here at Criswell Automotive Field. Papo Taco Tuesday isn't for another couple of days, but I don't think the Big Train mind if it came a little early, as Landon Franklin will step up to the plate. His first offering from Johnson in the dirt for a ball.
Now Franklin's last at-bat hit a base hit, a very timely base hit to help the Big Train to a 2-0 lead. Hoping for some more 2-out magic here.
1-0 to Franklin is upstairs for a ball. Now, it's funny because on the mound is an Ohioan throwing to a batter who's from Kentucky, playing his college ball at Kentucky, to a catcher who's from Louisiana. That's literally how the U.S. map works. In order to get to Louisiana from Ohio, you have to pass through Kentucky. How neat is that?
A very neat geography lesson there.
So the count now 2-1 on Franklin. Here comes the 2-1. Off speed in the dirt for ball 3. Waiting on deck is the leadoff hitter, Nato. Was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat and struck out in his last at-bat. The 3-1 to Franklin. That one fouled back into the glove of White. That'll bring the count full. The full count to Franklin. Low for ball 4. A productive at-bat for Franklin. He's now reached base twice. That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Justin Nato. Now a runner on first with 2 outs.
The second baseman, number 8, Justin Nato.
The Big Train leading 4-1 here in the top of the 4th. Jordan Crosland taking Keegan Johnson deep over the right field wall, tearing up the foliage beyond the fence here at Criswell Automotive Field. First offering to Nato. That one's off the end of the bat. Fielded by Powell. On to first. They got him for out number 3. But not before the Big Train extend their lead to 3. Courtesy of Jordan Crosland. Let's see if Evan Smith, fellow Maryland Terrapin, can keep the positive momentum rolling on the mound when we come back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer love.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. The Road Train have taken a 4-1 lead over the Giants. It'll be 6-7-8 due up for Gaithersburg. Leading things off is the Louisiana native playing his college ball at UL Monroe. Barham White, who fouls off the first pitch. That one appeared to Nick Vaughn. Count moves 0-1. Vaughn looks to be okay.
Again, the Big Train ended their regular season with a dominant win over the DC Grays. Had a dominant win over the Braves last night to secure their appearance in the LCS semifinals, hoping to continue to ride that high here tonight in Gaithersburg. Off to a great start.
The 0-1 way upstairs for a ball. That home run by Jordan Crosland, his third of the summer, his first of the postseason. The Big Train's third already of the postseason. Justin Nadeau and Andrew Williamson going yard last night against the Braves, as there's a high fly ball in the left field. Bastion is under it, and he's got it for out number 1. So White is retired. That'll bring up Tyler DiMartino.
The right fielder, number 33, Tyler DiMartino.
DiMartino had the great displeasure for him of watching the fly ball from Crosland sail over his head and over the fence. Has been so good in right field for the Xavier Musketeers over these past few seasons after starting his career at West Virginia. DiMartino, a native of Bethesda, Maryland, alumni of Walt Whitman High School, will be playing his final collegiate season at Indiana as the count moves 0-2 on the future Hoosier. Let's see in a battle of Big Ten foes between DiMartino and Smith. Will it be a Turtle or a Hoosier? Count moves to 1-2. That pitch upstairs for a ball. The 1-2 from Smith in the dirt. That'll even up the count at 2. Waiting on deck is the left fielder Matthew Best. Big Train leading 4-1 here in the bottom of the 4th. Game 1 of the LCS semifinals. 2-2 pitch is outside. That'll bring the count full on DiMartino. The Big Train's quest for title number 11 started off in relatively unprecedented fashion. Last night marked the first time the Big Train participated in the play-in game since the playoff format was altered about a decade ago. That one's ripped into center field. Coming in is Williamson with the catch for out number 2.
Again, Williamson has been an absolute vacuum out in center field.
The
Doing
left
his job
fielder,
once
number
again
22,
to record out number 2 on the
Best.
Giants.
So that'll bring up Matthew Best with 2 outs and no one on.
Best was bested by Smith during his previous at-bat.
Aha,
Went down swinging.
now we're even. First offering from Smith, in there for strike 1. Night's starting to fall a little bit. The sun's setting over Gaithersburg, Maryland. The 0-1 pitch up and away for a ball.
That was a member of the Big Train staff, our public address announcer, who said last night that if anyone could coach a team through a play-in game to the championship win, it was manager Sal Colangelo, who recently picked up his 600th win, making him one of the winningest summer collegiate baseball coaches.
So the count now 2-1 on Matthew Best. Colangelo, like yourself, Phoebe, an alumni of Virginia Tech. As the 2-1 swung on and missed for strike 2. There's been a Hokie in the lineup almost every night this summer, whether it be Wesley Carter Newman, Luca Perriello. Here comes the 2-2. Fouled off. Smith trying to blow Best away with the fastball. As you may have heard a few times already, the Big Train have a large crowd in attendance. Made up mostly of interns, as that off-speed pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. Evan Smith.
The Giants get no runs on no hits.
Absolutely rolling
We head to the 5th inning.
after getting
Big
roughed
Train
up a little
leading
bit in the
4-1.
bottom of the first. Have held the Giants scoreless over the past 3. The Big Train still leading 4-1. Let's see if they can add on in the top of the 5th shortly here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Boogie down. The juices in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner alone. Meet me in the corner alone. Meet me in the corner alone. Meet me in the corner.
The center
Welcome
fielder,
back to
number
Criswell
29,
Automotive
Andrew
Field
Williamson.
here in Gaithersburg, Maryland. The Big Train looking to add on to their 4-1 lead. It'll be 2-3-4 due up for Bethesda. Andrew Williamson leading things off with Keegan Johnson still on the mound for the Giants. The first offering to Williamson, an off-speed popped way up in the air into foul territory. Under it is Colin Gibbs, who makes the catch for out number 1. So Williamson is retired quickly. That'll bring up Emilio Gonzalez,
number 13,
or excuse me, that'll be the
Luke
catcher
Vaughn.
Luke Vaughn, Emilio Gonzalez in the hole.
Now the Big Train seemingly flipping the script on the Giants, have taken a cushioned lead early on and have held the Giants scoreless since the Giants scratched their first and only run in the bottom of the first.
First pitch to Vaughn is an off-speed low for a ball. Now, Luke Vaughn had played less than 10 games before the Ripken League All-Star game was played at the only Boys and Girls Club, but had left such a good impression that he was named to the All-Star team anyway, as he nearly takes out his teammate Gonzalez, who's in the on-deck circle with a foul ball.
Now during the regular season, the Big Train was unable to pick up a win at Criswell Automotive Field. Looking to flip the script here tonight in the LCS semifinals.
Here comes the 1-1 to Vaughn. That one just missing for ball 2. Luke Vaughn, one of several members of the Alabama Crimson Tide on the Big Train. Here comes the 2-1. That off speed, low and outside for ball 3. Gonzalez waiting on deck. The SEC well represented on the Big Train with not just the Crimson Tide, but the Wildcats of Kentucky. Here comes the 3-1. That one upstairs for ball 4. So Vaughn will roll down to first.
The first
That'll bring
baseman,
up
number
Gonzalez.
45, Emilio Gonzalez.
Speaking of the southeastern part of America, Gonzalez, a Floridian through and through, grew up in the Sunshine State, had a stellar freshman season this past spring for Florida Atlantic, made the AAC all-freshman team, as the first offering is fouled off. Gonzalez recording 46 hits, 5 home runs, and 38 RBIs for the Owls last season. Himself along with Max Martzoff representing FAU on the Big Train, as that one is ripped foul down the left field line. That'll bring the count to 0-2 on Gonzalez, with Jaden Bastion waiting on deck. The top half of this Big Train lineup, like it has for a lot of this season, very much filled with Floridians.
You've got Justin Nato, who's the leadoff hitter. Emilio Gonzalez, Jaden Bastion.
Here comes the 0-2. That one clearing the roof. That'll bring the count to 1-2. Luke Vaughn still on first, 1 out. The Big Train still leading by 3. The 1-2. Off speed, swung on and missed for strike 3. Gonzalez whiffing on an off speed in the dirt.
The
That'll
left
bring
fielder,
up
number
Bastion.
2, Jaden Bastion.
Runner still on first. Gonzalez has fallen victim to a lot of those similar pitches in that part of the plate. Although he has been able to golf a few baseballs into the outfield, coming up short there as the first offering of Bastion is low for a ball. Jaden Bastion, also hailing from the Sunshine State, a native of Winter Park. Going to be a rising sophomore for the Jacksonville Dolphins. Recorded 24 hits, 6 home runs, and 23 RBIs this past spring. His 6 home runs good for second on the team. As the 1-0 pitch is hit high and deep into right field, but that one will tail foul and out of play, so that'll even up the count at 1. Bastion's been a stalwart in left field for the Big Train this summer. Looking to build upon last spring and this summer for JU in 2025. As the 1-1 is in the dirt, good stop by White.
And it's important to note that before the addition of Andrew Williamson to the team, Jaden Bastion was a regular out in center field. Has just been a powerhouse within the outfield.
Made his first web gem of the season in center field. Here comes the 2-1. That one's ripped up the middle for a base hit. Vaughn will stop at second. That one was absolutely tattooed by Jaden Bastion. So that'll put runners on first and second for Whitaker.
Bastion
Right fielder,
extending
number
this
26,
half
Davin
inning,
Whitaker.
keeping the good times rolling, hoping to capitalize on it, is Davin Whitaker, the right fielder for the Big Train tonight. Whitaker recorded a hit during his previous at-bat to reach base.
The first offering to Whitaker, off speed, ripped into right center field. That'll drop for a base hit. Flying around third is Vaughn. He will score easily. Bastion held up at third. Whitaker slides into second. And he is finally ruled safe. After some deliberation between the umpires, Davin Whitaker has an RBI double to put the Big Train up 5-1.
An excellent shot from Davin Whitaker. You saw in his last 2 at-bats, swinging at the very first pitch and getting very positive results both times. The first one ricocheting off of pitcher Keegan Johnson, that one being ripped into right center field.
So we're going to have a mound visit with Johnson, who's given up 6 hits and 5 runs so far. Again, his first appearance for the Giants in about a month. Again, understandable considering that he pitched 65 innings in the spring for Ball State, has pitched just 10 heading into tonight. Runners on second and third for Matt Westley. Whitaker on second, Bastion at third.
The third baseman,
Keegan
number
Johnson
20,
is going to
Matthew
remain
Westley.
in the game on the mound for the Giants.
Matt Westley has reached base in his first 2 at-bats.
And the double from Davin Whitaker, which scored Vaughn, has now made it so the Big Train has scored at least 1 run.
First offering to Westley in the dirt.
Has now scored at least 1 run in 4 of the 5 innings played so far. So a much different story from the other 2 times the Big Train has played at Criswell Automotive, keeping those bats alive throughout the game.
The 1-0 to Westley, that one missing for ball 2. Now we've seen so many pitchers in the Ripken League this season. Hasn't seemed to matter how well they've played before. Sometimes a snowball can turn into an avalanche. As the 2-0 is lined up the middle, base hit. Bastion into score. Whitaker flying around third. He will make it home safely. Matthew Westley, an awesome start here tonight for the Big Train. A 2 RBI single. The Road Train now up 7-1. It's now a 3 spot here in the top of the 5th. Bringing up Jordan Crosland. Talk about an awesome night. Hit a home run in his last at-bat. His 3rd of the summer, his 1st of the postseason.
So again, the Big Train ended their regular season on such a high note.
That one fouled off by Crosland for strike 1.
With a dominant win over the DC Grays. And then have started off their playoff run fairly strongly. A 16-4 win over the Braves last night.
0-1 to Crosland, that one in there for strike 2.
A sudden death play-in game. And now kicking off the LCS semifinals with a current 7-1 lead.
The Big Train currently on a 39-9 run over their past 3 games, including this one. As the 0-2 to Crosland misses, there goes Westley again. The throw down to second beats him by a mile. So Westley is gunned down at second by White,
The Big Train scores
but the
3
damage
runs on
has already
3
been
hits.
done. The
Nobody
Big
on
Train
base, but take a
extending
7-1
their lead to
lead.
6.
Head to the
Let's see if
bottom
the
of the
Giants
5th
can
with
respond in the
7-1.
bottom half of the 5th when we come back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up. The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Boogie down.
The 3rd baseman, number
Welcome back to
29,
Big Train Baseball
Colin
Network.
Gibbs.
Bethesda extending their lead to 7-1. It's been a collective team effort on offense. And up to this point, a one-man show on the mound. Evan Smith still on the bump for the Big Train as his first offering to Colin Gibbs is low for a ball. It'll be 9-1-2 due up for the Giants. A.J. Martin on deck, Aiden Robbins in the hole.
The only blemish on Smith's performance so far this evening was the 1 run scored in the bottom of the first.
That one fouled off. That'll even up the count at 1. As we can hear a train in the distance. A funny little coincidence as the train here rolling like the train out there. There's a big swing and a miss for strike 2. Count moving to 1-2 on Gibbs. It's funny, in Old Town Gaithersburg, there's a historical site commemorating a station that had once been a part of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. As the 1-2 pitch is in the dirt, that'll even up the count at 2. But Gaithersburg, Maryland was once a part of the train tracks that connected America a way, way long time ago. Here comes the 2-2. That one lined into right field over is Whitaker. He can't get there, and that'll drop for a base hit. So Colin Gibbs having a rock-solid night. The leadoff hitter aboard for the Giants, as that'll bring up the shortstop, A.J. Martin.
Shortstop
Martin has been a dangerous bat for the Big Train all summer long. Had a lot of success at the Big Train's home field. Recorded 2 grand slams at Shirley Povich Field this summer.
First offering to Martin, off speed, grounded to third, could have a double play. On to second for 1, on to first. It's a double play. A sweet 5-4-3 DP. Wesley to Nato to Gonzalez.
The center fielder, number 23.
So we've seen a very complete game from the Big Train so far this evening. The defense coming up strong. Evan Smith has been dominant from the mound.
Every facet of the game clicking right now for the Big Train, as the first offering to Robbins is grounded right back to third, bobbled by Wesley and into left field. Robbins rounding first. He'll stop halfway to second. Will retreat back to first. So a chaotic sequence there. Matt Wesley getting another opportunity immediately. Unfortunately, could not handle the ground ball, as that'll bring up Danny Sheeler. A runner on first and 2 outs. The Giants looking to dig themselves out of a 6-run hole.
Aiden Robbins has now reached base on all 3 at-bats so far this evening.
As the first pitch is a fastball in there for a strike. Haven't seen too many 5-4-3 double plays with either the Big Train or anybody they've played so far this summer, as the 0-1 is in there for strike 2.
Smith now just a strike away from holding the Giants scoreless for a 4th consecutive inning.
Here comes the 0-2. Just misses for ball 1. The 1-2 to Sheeler, swung on and missed, strike 3. Down goes the magic man, Evan Smith, a Huntingtown, Maryland native, doing a lot of big game hunting tonight, has held the Giants scoreless in 4 consecutive innings. The Big Train still leading 7-1. Let's see if they can add on when we come back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
I'll be the girl next door. You be my
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. Bethesda looking to add on to their 6-run lead here in the top of the 6th inning. We're going to have a new pitcher on the bump for the Gaithersburg Giants. It will be Hank Littman in relief of Keegan Johnson. Hank Littman, one of the best relief pitchers in the Ripken League this summer. Tallied 37 strikeouts, one of the best strikeout pitchers in the entire Ripken League. Littman playing his college ball at William & Mary, hailing from McLean, Virginia, as Crosland will get out of the way of the first pitch. Looked to lay down a bunt, but that one almost hitting him in the dome.
A great duck from Jordan Crosland. That one getting dangerously close to his head as he was showing bunt.
The 1-0 to Crosland, that one in there for a strike. Also, I said McLean correctly, yes?
McLean, yes.
Yes.
Also, not that anybody cares, but Hank Littman and I share a birthday, July 31st. So happy early birthday to Hank Littman.
The first thing that popped into my head was the Mike Tomlin quote, "We do not care." I'm kidding, I care. That's pretty cool. Count now 2-1 on Jordan Crosland. Here comes the pitch. That one, a rocket into left field, but foul. Matthew Best will watch that one fall out of play. The count now even at 2-2 on Jordan Crosland.
Ken Crosland recorded a home run during his last at-bat. Been having a very successful night so far, hoping to continue that success from the plate.
The 2-2 pitch. That one, a big swing and a miss for strike 3. So Crosland strikes out for the second time tonight. That's Littman's
The
first
shortstop,
K.
number 22, Landon Franklin.
That'll bring up Landon Franklin, who also has an RBI tonight.
Franklin has reached base on both at-bats so far this evening. The first, a base hit. His last at-bat took a walk.
First offering to Franklin is upstairs for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. That one grounded to third over the glove of Gibbs. Can't be scooped by Martin. Franklin reaches base once again. A little pinball action on the left side of the infield, as that'll bring up Justin Nadeau with one out and one on.
Justin Nadeau.
Nadeau tore up the scoreboard last night, had a home run as well as a double. Hoping for some similar success from the plate this evening. Started off with a hit by pitch to reach first.
The first offering to Nadeau, that one outside for a ball. Hank Littman also coming from a very athletically gifted family. His brother Kenny is a current pitcher at Maryland and was a Division III All-American at Denison. His dad played baseball and golf at Harvard, and his mom played tennis at Louisiana Tech, as that pitch is upstairs for ball 2. Here comes the 2-0. That one painting the inside part of the plate for the strike. That one actually chased Nadeau out of the batter's box. He turned his right shoulder. Looked like from our angle a ball based on Nadeau's reaction, but nevertheless the count now 2-1 with one out. Franklin still at first is chased back to first by Littman. He is safe on the pickoff attempt. Here comes the 2-1. That one outside for ball 3. Waiting on deck is Williamson, still looking for his first hit of the night.
Nadeau now sitting in favor of the count, has a runner on first, only one out on the board for the Big Train, who have scored in every inning except the top of the third.
The 3-1 to Nadeau, that one missing for ball 4. So the base paths being infiltrated by the SEC,
Andrew Williamson.
as that'll bring up Williamson with a Florida Gator on first and a Kentucky Wildcat on second. The skies above us turning hues of orange and light blue.
A very pretty sky for what's been a very successful night for the Big Train thus far.
First offering to Williamson, that one just missing for a ball. It's funny, there are so many times where we have been in awe of the sky, whether it is on the road or at Shirley Povich Field, and the viewers at home can't really see it. So trust us. The sky looks really nice as Williamson rips that one through the hole on the left side, base hit. Franklin around third. He will score easily. Stopping at second is Nato. It's an RBI single for Andrew Williamson. The Big Train lead now a touchdown.
As you said, Williamson was looking for his first hit of the night. And there he goes. He gets his first hit of the night, a base hit to push Franklin off of second to home and push Nato over to second.
And so that'll bring up Luke Vaughn.
And you mentioned the skies. Viewers at home can get a peek at the sky if they follow at Go Big Train on Instagram. Our lovely sideline reporter and social media manager, Kaylee Tallman, has been recording every hit from the Big Train so far, and you can see the sunset in the background.
Like a good phone charger. Good plug there, Phoebe. First offering to Vaughn, that one in there for a strike.
Vaughn took a walk on his previous at-bat to reach base for the first time this evening.
The 0-1, that one missing for a ball. Now Nato and Williamson both looking antsy at second and first respectively. With the Big Train up by a lot, could we possibly see a double steal? They remain at bay. The count moving 2-1 now on Luke Vaughn. Recorded a walk in his last at-bat after being retired in his first two, as we're going to have a mound visit between Barham White and Hank Littman.
So as we said, the Big Train, their past two games have been very dominant offensive performances. They're carrying that momentum into tonight. This is the time for the Big Train to get hot, and so far they have gotten hot and stayed hot, hoping to continue this success as they move through the rest of the LCS semifinals, hoping for another chance at the LCS championship.
Game 2 will be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at Shirley Povich Field. A Game 3, if necessary, will be on Tuesday back here at Criswell Automotive Field as the count moves 3-1 on Luke Vaughn with Gonzalez waiting on deck. The 3-1 to Vaughn, that one inside for a ball 4. So that'll load the bases with one out for Emilio Gonzalez.
Emilio Gonzalez.
Andrew Williamson at second, sandwiched between Floribama. Nato on third, Vaughn at first.
Vaughn taking his second walk of the night. We're going to see another mound visit over to Littman.
And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. One of the best relievers in the Ripken League chased after only one out here in the top of the 6th. We'll be back after a quick commercial break. The Big Train looking to really break this one open.
watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel this too. Holding on and on and on.
Just let me know when that game goes final. Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. The new pitcher on the bump looking to stop the bleeding. It's going to be Jackson Bauer, a towering lefty who will be playing for the Hofstra Pride this coming season, facing a bases-loaded one-out jam. His first offering to Emilio Gonzalez, ripped right back into his glove for out number 2. Back over to third. They got him for a double play. I don't think they could have drawn that up any better. That one a laser shot right into the glove of Bauer, doubling up Nato over at third. The Big Train extending their lead to 7, but probably wanting more. The Giants will look to dig themselves out of this hole when we come back after this commercial break here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Move so fast. Here's hoping this night will last. Just let go. We're spinning with our eyes closed. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer.
Number 17, Brendan.
Welcome back to Big
Brendan.
Train Baseball Network. Bethesda leading 8-1 as we're set to start the bottom of the 6th with a new pitcher on the mound looking for an encore performance after a dominant outing from Evan Smith. It's going to be Trevor Orth out of Roanoke College.
Big Train's very own Cinderella story. Last time the Big Train played the Gaithersburg Giants at Shirley Povich Field, saw Orth come quite literally from the concession stand into the bullpen to throw 2 shutout innings against the Giants.
His first offering to Brendan Kleiman, and off speed in there for a strike. Orth, as you can probably hear wherever you are, has a lot of support amongst the Big Train staff here in attendance, as that is literally their colleague on the mound. As it's deja vu all over again, another off speed in there for strike 2.
Now, although Orth has made a limited number of appearances from the mound, has yet to give up a hit or an earned run.
The 0-2 pitch, grounded over to third. Bobbled and picked up by Wesley, fires over to first, in time for out number 1. Spectacular recovery there from Matt Wesley. as Brady Powell will step up to the plate.
Number 19, Brady Powell.
Wasn't able to recover from the last time he bobbled a ball, but this time able to scoop and fire for out number 1. First offering to Brady Powell, low for a ball. Trevor Orth this past spring for Roanoke College, pitching 21 2/3 innings, but all earned runs he allowed were in just an inning and 2/3. Count moving 2-0 on Brady Powell. So in the other 20 innings that he pitched, did not allow a single earned run.
Orth has a lot of family support here at Criswell Automotive Field tonight.
Here comes the 2-0 to Powell. That one in the dirt for ball 3. Waiting on deck is the catcher, Barham White.
Orth's father is the manager over at South County High School for the Braves, where Trevor played his summer ball last season.
As the 3-0 pitch is in the dirt for ball 4. So the speedy Powell will take first. That'll bring up White with 1 out and 1 on.
The catcher, number 31, Barham White.
Powell has been one of the most prolific base stealers in the Ripken League. For a very prolific base stealing team, the Giants have only been caught 7 times on the base paths, and that's not for a lack of trying. They're in the upper half in stolen bases this year amongst Ripken League teams, as the count moves to 1-0 on White. While the Aces have stolen the most bases, the only one with over 80 this season, the Giants have been the most efficient on the base paths. Here comes the 1-0. That one fouled back in the glove of Vaughn for strike 1.
Now, speaking of the Aces over at Frankman Field, Southern Maryland still leading 4-0 in the top of the 9th.
The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed for strike 2. Orth getting White whiffing on an off-speed pitch low. Orth looking for his first K of the evening. The 1-2 pitch fouled off. That one might have caught Vaughn on the hand. Looking to shake that one off. Both him and Cole Constable have really taken a beating this summer behind the plate.
As you mentioned, Orth looking for his first K of the evening, coming in to relieve starting pitcher Evan Smith, who picked up 3 Ks during his 5 innings pitched.
So Vaughn appears to be okay. The count's still 1-2 on White. Powell on first, Tyler DiMartino on deck. Powell takes off. The 1-2 is popped up. Powell might want to get hit on back over to first. It is dropped by Gonzalez, but Powell's already going back to first, so they'll record the out at second. A dangerous runner now taken off the base paths. That'll bring up DiMartino with a runner on first and 2 outs.
Tyler DiMartino.
Again, the Giants ending the regular season as the North Division champions, 23-13. The Big Train finishing second at 21-15. First offering to DiMartino's in the dirt. Good backhand stop by Vaughn. The count moves to 1-0. That was a tough play for Gonzalez over in shallow right. Had to make a Willie Mays-style catch. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do so. But because there were less than 2 outs, Powell had to go back over to first. As the count moves to 1-1, DiMartino looks at that one for a strike. So a break there for the Big Train. Here comes the 1-1, off speed in the dirt for a ball. Again, DiMartino will play his final collegiate season for the Indiana Hoosiers after spending time at West Virginia and Xavier. Here comes the 2-1. That one in the dirt for ball 3. Waiting on deck is the left fielder, Matthew Best. The Big Train faithful trying to rally Orth from a 3-1 deficit. The 3-1. That one fouled off. Count moves full on DiMartino.
Orth now just one strike away from holding the Giants scoreless for the 5th consecutive inning.
Evan Smith allowing just 1 earned in 5 innings pitched. Replicating the efforts of Joey Wimpelberg last night against the Braves. The 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. The orthopedic working early. The Giants held scoreless once again. Trevor Chance raining down here at Criswell Automotive Field. Let's see if the Big Train can continue to pour it on when we come back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Wait for me. Keep watching you when you leave. Something new.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. Bauer still on the mound. Jaden Bastian trying to lay down a bunt. That one's popped up into foul territory, but off of the netting on the backstop. Looked like White might be able to catch up to that one, but the count moving 0-1 on Bastian. Now a little more into Jackson Bauer as we were interrupted with a inning-ending double play. Bauer going to be playing his college ball at Hofstra. Works with a sinker, curveball, slider, and a changeup as the count moves 1-1 on Jaden Bastian, a transfer from CCBC Catonsville. Last year, Bauer recorded a 3.92 ERA in 39 innings pitched. That one's ripped into center field, but caught by Aiden Robbins for out number 1.
Still a lot
The
of
right
power
fielder, number
from that
26,
shot.
Davin Whitaker.
Unfortunately, couldn't get it deep enough into center field to evade Aiden Robbins.
So that'll bring up Whitaker with 1 out, no one on.
Whitaker launched a double during his previous at-bat, has been having an excellent night from the plate so far.
First offering to Whitaker, lays down a bunt, but it goes foul. So Whitaker will have to retreat back to the batter's box. Bauer also recording 52 strikeouts and a 1.21 whip. Pretty solid whip for Jackson Bauer this past spring. I wonder what his nay-nay numbers are. Here comes the 0-1. That one in there for strike 2. Here comes the 0-2. That one inside for a ball.
Could hear a young fan from the crowd shouting, "Come on, get a double," as if Whitaker hasn't already done enough from the plate.
Well, it's also not that easy, Kate. 1-2 off speed, in there for strike 3. So Whitaker goes down looking. That'll bring up Matt Westerly with 2 outs and no one on. Has had an eventful night over at the hot corner.
Has also reached base on all 3 at-bats so far this evening.
First offering to Westerly. That one an off speed, low for a ball. A good hold up there by Westerly. It looks like his lower half wanted to go, but his upper half did not. The 1-0 outside for ball 2. The 2-0 from Bauer, that one in there for a strike. The 2-1 to Westerly in the dirt for ball 3. Waiting on deck is Jordan Crosland. Already done a lot of damage tonight, looking to get an at-bat here in the top of the 7th. As Westerly swings and misses on the fastball, that'll bring the count full with 2 outs. The full count offering, swung on and missed, strike 3.
The Big Train score no runs on no hits, leave nobody on base.
So Bauer
He
doing
hits
the
the
Harlem
bottom
Shake to
7,
end the
8-1
inning.
Big Train.
We're gonna stretch. The Big Train still leading 8-1. We'll be back shortly here on Big Train Baseball Network. Here comes the 0-1. That one in there for strike 2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That one popped up into right field. Whitaker is under it, and he fights off the lights to catch it for out number 1. So that'll bring up the third baseman, Colin Gibbs.
The third baseman, number 29,
Now an update
Colin
from
Gibbs.
Frank Manfield, the Aces fighting back. Southern Maryland now with just a 4-3 lead in the bottom of the 9th. Hoping to keep the Aces at bay to secure a victory in the LCS semifinals.
That one swung on and missed for strike 1. Now contributing to the early Senators lead was Carter Groen, who hit his 10th home run of the summer and his first of the postseason.
Now Gibbs up at the plate has had back-to-back base hits.
As that one's in there for strike 2. Gibbs on the verge of being sent back to the dugout, something he hasn't done very much from home plate tonight. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That one low and inside for a ball. But the Big Train and Aces looking to match up in the championship round once again. Here comes the 1-2. That one lined too short. Fielded by Franklin, fires it over to Gonzalez for out number 2. So an efficient couple of outs here for Orth as he'll face the leadoff hitter, A.J. Martin.
The shortstop, number 7, A.J. Martin.
Franklin and Gonzalez preventing Gibbs from reaching base for the first time this evening. Now just 1 out away for continuing this cold bat streak for the Giants.
Martin 1 for 3 tonight, recorded a double in his first at-bat, but has been retired in his past 2. As to look at that first pitch for a strike. Here comes the 0-1 from Orth. Off speed, grounded over to Franklin at short. Fields it cleanly, fires it over to first, offline. That one out of the reach of Gonzalez. So Martin will reach base for the second time tonight. That'll bring up Robbins with 2 outs and a runner on first.
The center fielder, number 23, Aiden Robbins.
Robbins has been a dangerous bat so far this evening, has reached base on all 3 at-bats with 2 base hits and 1 hit.
Robbins, a Ripken League All-Star. Most of this starting lineup for the Giants made the All-Star game, as that first pitch is an off-speed low for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. That one in there for a strike. Robbins looking at a fastball low. Orth doing a great job of mixing pitches here. Now some people like Max Martzoff, for example, are able to rely on one pitch. But Orth doing a great job of mixing fastballs with off speed. As the 1-1, that one's grounded foul down the third base line. That'll bring the count to 1-2. The 1-2 pitch, low and inside for ball 2.
Orth just a strike away from keeping the Giants scoreless for now the 6th consecutive inning.
Danny Sheeler waiting on deck. Orth looking to carry over the positive momentum that was generated by Evan Smith. As the 2-2 pitch is an off speed in the dirt, that'll bring the count full. Good backhand stop by Vaughn to keep that one in front. Night has officially fallen here in Gaithersburg, Maryland. The sun now completely down. Hopefully it comes back up in the morning. Full count offering, that one upstairs for ball 4. So that'll put runners on first and second for Danny Sheeler.
The first baseman, number
Sheeler
46,
been having a
Danny
uncharacteristically
Sheeler.
bad night from the plate so far, has yet to reach base.
Now as we see fireworks in the distance, it's only appropriate that a man who's generated a lot on the baseball field is up at the plate. First offering to Sheeler, that one in there for strike one. That's kind of interesting. The 4th of July was over 2 weeks ago. I think we need to get those people a new calendar. Here comes the 0-1. That one in there for strike two. Trevor Orth, representing Roanoke College in Salem, Virginia. The 0-2 pitch, off speed, swung on and missed for strike three. Trevor Orth continues to dominate.
No hits, leave one man on base, and we head
The
to
Big
the
Train
8th
still
inning.
lead 8-1. Let's see if they can extend their lead when we come back for the top of the 8th here on Big Train Baseball Network.
I can get to know you better living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer love.
Welcome back to Criswell Automotive Field here in Gaithersburg, Maryland, as Jordan Crosland is going to lead things off in the top of the 8th. Jackson Bauer still on the bump as he'll take the first pitch outside for a ball. And the game in Alexandria has just gone final. The Senators staving off a late comeback from the Aces. They pull off an upset win in game one. Now the top-seeded Aces will be on the ropes as they travel to Waldorf tomorrow as the count moves to 2-1 on Crosland. The 2-1 to Crosland, and off speed, just missing for ball three. Here comes the 3-1 to Crosland. That one missing for ball four.
So Crosland having a great night from the plate. Knocked in a home run, has now just drawn a walk to put a runner on first for another guy who's been having one heck of a night from the plate. Landon Franklin had a base hit, a walk, and then a hit during his previous at-bat to reach first.
Crosland always a threat to steal. Again, just 2 behind the team lead in the regular season for stolen bases. First pitch to Franklin in there for strike one. Jackson Bauer looking to continue the success he's achieved this season, one of several reliable Giants relievers, as there's a big swing and a miss for strike two. That's a big part of what has made them and the Aces so good this season, is that their pitching, both starters and relievers, have been exceptional. Crosland takes off. That one fouled off. So Crosland will have to make his way back to first. Crosland takes off again. That one actually hits Franklin. So Crossland would have taken second anyway, although he did look a lot cooler than he probably would have been if
The second
he hadn't
baseman, number
gone.
8, Justin Nadeau.
So that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Justin Nadeau, with runners on first and second and no outs. A golden opportunity for the Big Train to blow this one open late.
Franklin has now extended his streak to reaching base on all 4 at-bats so far this evening. Nadeau has currently gone 2 for 4, was hit by a pitch and then drew a walk during his previous at-bat.
Nadeau pulling back on a bunt, that one in the dirt. Good stop by White to keep Crosland at second. Crosland sent back to second by Bauer. Nadeau showing bunts. That one popped up foul. So the count moving to 1-1 on Nadeau. Did you really think we were going to get hit by that?
Look at that giant hole in the netting right above our heads.
That's also right in front of the one of the giant beams that's holding up the net. So I think the chances of us getting a baseball are not impossible, but highly unlikely, as Nadeau will foul another bunt off. So facing a 1-2 count, he will likely have to swing away. Crosland at second, Franklin at first. Here comes the 1-2. Off speed is hit high into left field. Ranging over towards the foul line is Best. He's got it for out number 1. Crosland will stay at second. That'll bring up Andrew Williamson with 1 out.
The center fielder, number 29, Andrew Williamson.
Recorded a base hit in his last at-bat. Now, most of the time we've seen Williamson make quality contact. The ball hasn't hit the ground until it gets past the infield, whether that's in the outfield or over the fence. Now, including the regular season and the playoffs, Carter Groen taking an outright lead for homers. Let's see if Williamson can take it back as he breaks his bat on a foul ball. So he'll get a new wooden stick. And here's Bat Boy Owen. Hi, Owen Lieber. Yes! Got a hello back from the one, the only Owen Lieber.
And as we mentioned, Andrew Williamson, throughout the regular season, was able to reach base at least once during every single game, has continued that streak through the playoffs. Hit a towering home run to end the game last night at Shirley Povich Field. Recorded a base hit during his previous at-bat.
And one can only imagine the kind of counting stats he would have put up if he had been playing the entire season for the Big Train. Didn't make his first appearance until June 10th. As the 0-1 gets by White, that'll put both runners in scoring position.
Both Crosland and Franklin jumping on the passed ball have now put potential runs 9 and 10 in scoring position.
Barham White, so flexible, so agile like an NHL goalie. But even the greats occasionally let one get by him. So the count now 1-1 on Williamson. Franklin at second, Crosland at third. Here comes the pitch. That one in the dirt, this time able to be blocked by White. Count now 2-1. The Giants infield coming in closer towards the grass, anticipating a ground ball. We'll try to keep Crosland at third if that's the case. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That one's grounded to Sheeler at first, bobbles it, can't find it, finds it, and cannot get the tag at first. Tried to tag Williamson, but the ball popped out.
So Crosland scores the 9th run of the game for the Big Train. Franklin now aboard third. Williamson makes it to first safely.
As we're going to get people to check on Danny Sheeler. Again, bobbled the ground ball. Tried to make the tag of Williamson, but Williamson barreling into his hands. That knocked the glove and the ball out of Sheeler's grasp. And it looks like he'll stay in the game. Williamson will stay at first with one out. Runners on the corners.
The
Luke
catcher,
Vaughn
number
stepping up
13,
to the
Luke
plate.
Vaughn.
First offering to Vaughn in there for a strike. Curious to see with a runner at third if Williamson takes off. Also less than 2 outs. And he's sent back to first there from Bauer. Jackson Bauer will be playing his college ball next season at Hofstra, a native of Catonsville, Maryland. Williamson sent back to first again.
Getting a lot of attention from Jackson Bauer up on the mound.
A slightly risky endeavor considering that an errant throw over to first likely scores Franklin from third. Here comes the 0-1. That one outside the count now, 1-1 on Luke Vaughn. Alabama looking to help out Kentucky. The 1-1 pitch, off speed, laced down the left field line, but just foul.
A nice hop from Franklin at third to avoid interfering with the foul ball.
We've seen a lot of players this summer jump horizontally, not many jumping vertically. As the 1-2 pitch is fouled off, that one jamming Luke Vaughn, but he's able to make good contact with it to stay alive. Emilio Gonzalez waiting on deck. Jackson Bauer digs in. Sends Williamson back a third time. Those throwbacks a lot of times almost seem like power-ups for potential base stealers. As the 1-2 to Vaughn, an off-speed hit high and deep into left field. Back goes Best at the wall. It is down. In to score is Franklin. Williamson will stop at second. An extremely long single for Luke Vaughn. That one rolling all the way to the wall.
First baseman, number 45,
But the Big Train
Emilio
have
Gonzalez.
extended their lead to 10-1. Luke Vaughn having himself a heck of a 24-hour stretch here as Emilio Gonzalez will step up to the plate. Now he represents potential run number 13, and again, the mercy rule here in the Ripken League is a lead of 12, or at least 12 after 7 innings. Now, because the Big Train are the road team, if they were to score at least another 3 here in the top half of the 8th, the Giants would still get a chance to bat in the bottom half of the 8th. They would have to score at least 1 run, or depending on what the deficit is, a certain number of runs to stay alive for another inning. As the 1-0 is upstairs for ball 2. Seems pretty crazy on paper that we're even mentioning the mercy rule.
Considering the Big Train mercy ruled the Braves last night at Shirley Povich Field.
Well, more so that the Giants have been one of the best teams in the league this season as the off-speed is swung on and missed for strike 1. The 2-1 to Gonzalez. That one in there for strike 2. Gonzalez looking at a fastball low. Bauer will look to put him away here with Jaden Bastion waiting on deck. Williamson at second, Vaughn at first. The 2-2. That one fouled off into the backstop. Another 2-2 to Gonzalez. That one hit high and deep into right field. I hope that ball brought a beach towel and chairs. Oh my goodness, it's caught. It's caught by the right fielder, DiMartino. But both runners able to advance into scoring position. My goodness, I was so ready. Emilio Gonzalez looked like he thought he had that one. Looked like a no-doubter off the bat.
Some serious power behind that shot. Sent it right to the center field wall. Unfortunately, stopped just short of going over the wall. Robbins was there to make the catch. But Gonzalez, a very productive at-bat nonetheless, has pushed Vaughn over to third and Williamson to second.
And so we're going to have a pitching change here. Jackson Bauer's night is done. We'll be back after a quick commercial break here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. Bethesda still leading 10-1. The new pitcher on the mound for the Giants, it's going to be Tanner Sanderoff, a fellow member of the Hofstra Pride, looking to stop the bleeding here with 2 outs, facing Jaden Bastian as his first pitch is an off-speed outside for a ball. Emilio Gonzalez almost hitting a 3-run shot. It looked off the bat like it was going to clear the wall. Emilio Gonzalez was watching that one from the box as if he hit it a million miles, as that one's fouled off for a strike by Bastian.
Again, it's Williamson aboard third, Luke Vaughn at second, representing the potential 11th and 12th runs for the Big Train.
The 1-1 from Sanderoff, that one fouled off the catcher's mitt of White. That'll bring the count to 1-2.
Again, with Bastian representing the potential 13th run from the plate. The mercy rule within the Cal Ripken League is a lead of 12 after 7.
Here comes the 1-2. That one outside, evening up the count. So we've got number 2, Tanner Sanderoff, pitching to number 2, Jaden Bastian. The count 2-2 with 2 outs. The Big Train scoring 2 in the top of the 8th. Here comes the pitch. That one in the dirt, bringing the count full. Waiting on deck is Whitaker.
Whitaker been having a very strong night from the plate so far, has had a hit as well as a double this evening.
The full count pitch to Bastion. That one low for ball 4. That'll load up the bases once again, this time for Davin Whitaker.
The right fielder, number 26, Davin Whitaker.
Big cheers here for bat boy Owen Lieber.
We had the pleasure of having Owen Lieber join us on the broadcast a couple of games ago over at South County.
First offering to Whitaker, off speed, missing for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. That one fouled off, bringing the count to 1-1. Davin Whitaker, representing the East Carolina Pirates, hailing from Knoxville, North Carolina. The 1-1, off speed, missing outside for a ball. As fellow East Carolina Pirate Keenan Bowman watching from behind us. The 2-1 in the dirt, getting past White. Here comes Williamson, he will score. So that'll balloon the lead to 10. Both runners advancing into scoring position. Vaughn on third, Bastion on second. The count 3-1 on Whitaker. Waiting on deck is the third baseman, Wesley.
Williamson has been very aggressive across the base path all summer long, but especially so towards the end of the regular season.
And so we're going to have a mound visit here. Again, the base is loaded with 2 outs. The count 3-1 on Davin Whitaker. The big train putting up a 3 spot here in the top of the 8th to take an 11-1 lead over the second-seeded Giants.
With Luke Vaughn at third and Jaden Bastion at second. Whitaker still at the plate, sitting in favor of the count.
Whitaker looking to potentially load the bases once again for the big train, or perhaps bring in a run or two if he's able to hit the ball hard enough. Here comes the 3-1. That one a swing and a miss. Would have likely been ball 4. That pitch in the dirt, so that'll bring the count full on Whitaker. Again, Westerly waiting on deck. The 3-2 pitch, check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. So Whitaker will take first. That will load the bases for Matt Wesley.
The third baseman, number 20, Matthew Wesley.
Matthew Wesley hoping to keep the good times rolling. Now has another bases loaded situation with 2 outs on the board.
Hasn't been nearly as prolific of a hitter as most of his teammates, but has a golden opportunity to make his name known in Big Train playoff history if he's able to get a hold of one here.
Made big waves during the Big Train's exhibition game.
Count 2-0, the throw back to first. Oh, a great leap by Sheeler to keep that one in the infield. That would have easily scored Vaughn from third. Might have scored Bastion from second if that one got away. Here comes the 2-0. That one inside for a strike. Count 2-1 on Wesley. The 2-1 swung on and missed for strike 2. Sandaroff looking to leave him loaded. Vaughn on third, Bastion on second. Whitaker at first, that one in the dirt.
Looks like it tripped up Wesley. The umpires will confer to see if that counts as a hit by pitch.
So Wesley did not immediately take first after that pitch.
He did point at his feet, however.
So we're going to have a little meeting at the midway point between the pitcher's mound and home plate. And the umpires will rule that Westerly was not hit. So the count now full with 2 outs. A very consequential pitch here. Sandaroff versus Westerly. The 3-2 pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. But the Big Train putting up a 3 spot. They now lead 11-1. The Giants have a heck of a mountain to climb if they want to come back in this one. We'll return shortly for the bottom of the 8th here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Wait for me. Keep watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel this too. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. Bethesda up by 10 as we're set to start the bottom of the 8th. With a pinch hitter, it's going to be Casey Gibbs facing Trevor Orth to start things off. So both Gibbs in the Giants organization seeing action tonight as the first pitch just missing for a ball. Casey Gibbs, a native of Olney, Maryland, played his high school ball at St. John's College. As the 1-0 is swung on and missed for strike 1. Gibbs currently playing his college ball at Longwood in Newport News, Virginia. Transferred from Virginia Commonwealth, better known as VCU. 1-1 swung on and missed for strike 2. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3.
So Orth remains dominant from the mound, has yet to give up a run.
And so that'll bring up another pinch hitter. It's going to be Masa Kawashima.
Kawashima been a very dangerous bat for the Giants organization. We're surprised to not see him in the starting lineup.
As there's another swing and a miss. Count 0-1 on Kawashima, a native of Tokyo, Japan. A very tough out for opposing pitchers. 0-1 is swung on and missed for strike 2.
Orth is unfazed as he fires away.
The 0-2 swung on and missed.
Back-to-back Ks for Trevor Orth.
This is absolutely unbelievable what we have seen from Trevor Orth. And stepping up to the plate, it's going to be another pinch hitter. This time it's Jacob Bunch from Patrick and Henry Community College. A former Coastal Carolina Chanticleer. As the first pitch is inside for a ball. Last season, Jacob Bunch recording 13 hits and 6 RBI is going to be a rising sophomore. The 1-0 from Orth. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Count now even at 1. Here comes the 1-1. Off speed over the head of Bunch. That one getting away from Orth. A rare misfire from Orth. Got the Big Train faithful up and loud. 2-1 is hit into right center field, and Williamson's got it for out number 3.
The Giants got no runs.
Trevor Orth continues to roll, retires the Giants in order. The Big Train, one last chance to pad their lead even further. We'll be back for the top of the 9th on Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. Meet me in
Number 1, Jordan Crossland.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. Bethesda with one last chance to add on to its already commanding 11-1 lead. Leading off the inning with Tanner Sanderoff still on the mound, it's going to be the designated hitter Jordan Crossland. Has already gone yard tonight as he'll take the first pitch up and in for a ball.
The Big Train turning this into a high-scoring affair. We mentioned at the start of the broadcast that the 2 games played during the regular season at Criswell Automotive were both very low-scoring games.
The 1-0 is grounded over to third, fielded by Gibbs over to first in time to record out number 1. So Crossland is retired. That will bring up The shortstop, Landon Franklin. Ha, I beat the PA announcer to it.
And should the good times continue to roll, this would mark the Big Train's first win of the season at Criswell Automotive Field.
First offering to Franklin is low for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. That one swung on and missed for strike one. That one low and inside, grazing the dirt. Count now even at 1 on Landon Franklin. There's a high fly ball in the left field, but Best has got it for out number 2. So that'll bring up Justin Nadeau. 2 outs, no one on. The Big Train still up by 10.
Justin Nadeau.
Although all game long we've seen a lot of strong 2-out hitting from the Big Train. Again, already have a fairly cushioned lead, sitting 11-1 over the Giants.
First offering to Nadeau, an off speed in there for a strike.
Have only been held scoreless twice so far this evening.
Here comes the 0-1. Off speed outside. That'll even up the count at 1 on Nadeau. The 1-1 from Sanderoff, a fastball in there for a strike. So Sanderoff trying to retire the Big Train in order. Here comes the 1-2. Off speed is grounded over to short. Bobbled by Kawashima, fires it over to first. Not in time. So Nadeau aboard safely with 2 outs. That'll bring up Andrew Williamson.
Andrew been having a very successful night from the plate. Started off his evening with a perfectly laid bunt to push Nadeau to second and hop aboard first.
As we're going to have a mound visit here, and it looks like we're going to have a pitching change with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. Sanderoff's night is done. So we'll be back after a quick commercial break. Andrew Williamson up at the plate with a runner on and 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. We've got a pitching change for the Giants. It's going to be Luke Pierre, a rising freshman at Rhode Island, facing Andrew Williamson with 2 outs on a runner on first. That first offering in there for a strike. Pierre, another Maryland product hailing from Poolesville, attended Poolesville High School. As the 0-1 is hit high and deep foul. Holy cow, I think we might have 2 moons after this game.
A powerful shot from Williamson, unfortunately not in play.
That one disappearing into the Gaithersburg night. Count now 0-2 on Williamson.
Now it's interesting, I've been noticing tonight, Andrew Williamson is at plate ritual. He draws a cross over the plate, and then he'll make a couple of rotations with the bat. I thought before that it was always the same number, 4 rotations, but seen him go anywhere from 3 to 6 rotations.
2, 3,
4.
4. Let's go, we can count. 0-2 pitch is low and outside for a ball.
One, 2, 3, 4.
Whoa.
5.
Whoa. Whoa.
See,
oh my
he
goodness.
changes it up.
The 1-2 pitch fouled off once again.
I'm glad he proved that I'm not crazy. He does change it up at times. I'd love to hear from him what the significance is.
Let's see if he
of the
goes.
bat
Let's see if he
rotations.
goes halfway around and then reverses,
That would go crazy.
catching you off guard.
That one's 3. Gonna stop at 3.
Another 1-2 pitch. Another foul ball. Oh, he almost caught it. Luke Vaughn almost catching the foul ball off the netting.
Charging in from the on-deck circle.
Some sarcastic jeers raining down from the Big Train faithful in attendance. So the count's still 1-2 on Williamson. Here it comes. Outside, that'll even up the count at 2. I think Williamson could power a whole city with these rotations. The 0-2 pitch and off speed, low and outside. That'll bring the count full with Luke Vaughn waiting on deck. The full count offering up and in for ball 4. So Williamson will take his base. Vaughn will have to unstrap his catcher's gear.
13, Luke Vaughn.
Vaughn went 0 for 2 to start off the night, but since then has reached base on his last 3 at-bats, hoping to extend that streak here to keep the good times rolling for the Big Train.
First offering from Pierre. Inside for a ball. Luke Pierre works with a fastball, curveball, and changeup. Was the 3A Division Pitcher of the Year last season for Poolsville, as there's a big swing and a miss for strike 1. The 1-1 offering, off speed. That one gets by Jacob Bunch. He can't find it. Both runners staying on base. Jacob Bunch subbing in for Barham White behind the plate. Count now 2-1 on Vaughn. The 2-1 pitch, that one drills Vaughn in the back. O's raining down.
The first baseman, number 45, Emilio Gonzalez.
As Gonzalez will step up to the plate with the bases loaded.
Well, so Vaughn extends his streak. He'll reach base for the 4th time this evening. Maybe not how he wanted to get a base, but he'll take it either way. Base is now loaded for Emilio Gonzalez.
It's Vaughn at first, Williamson at second, Nato at third. First offering to Gonzalez in the dirt for a ball. But if the score holds here tonight, both lower seeds, both road teams will have picked up wins tonight, with the Senators knocking off the Aces in Alexandria as the count moves to 2-0 on Gonzalez. The 2-0, a big swing and a miss for strike 1. PR beating Gonzalez with a fastball low and outside. The 2-1. That one fouled off, evening up the count. Here comes the 2-2. There's a high fly ball in a deep left field. Back at the warning track, it's caught. Back-to-back, almost home runs for Emilio Gonzalez.
The big train scored no
Been
runs
getting
on
a
one
lot
hit,
of
leave the
power
bases loaded. We
behind
head
those
to the
hits.
bottom of the ninth,
Unfortunately,
11-1.
not getting them quite far enough over the wall.
Just a couple of ingredients away from a grand salami. But the big train remain ahead by 10. Let's see if the Giants have a playoff miracle in store, or if the big train can shut the door on a dominant opening game here in the LCS semis. We'll be back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up. The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Said hey, hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Said hey, hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Boogie down.
Welcome back to Criswell Automotive Field here in Gaithersburg, Maryland. The big train trying to shut down what has been a dominant performance here in Gaithersburg. We've got a new pitcher on the mound for the big train, hailing from Birmingham, Alabama, representing the Alabama Crimson Tide. It's Ripken League All-Star Jonathan Stevens facing a pinch hitter in Jaden Brown, representing the Eastern Kentucky Colonels. To lead things off here in the bottom of the ninth, as the first pitch from Stevens, all gas, no brakes, in there for a strike. Looks like the Giants might be emptying the bench, as waiting on deck is Leighton Lackey.
Brown is now the fourth pinch hitter we've seen in the later
There's
innings.
a high fly ball into right field, and it's down in fair territory, rolling all the way to the corner. He'll stop at second with a double. It's a leadoff extra base hit for the Giants. Jaden Brown with about as good of a start as you can ask if you're the Giants, bringing up Leighton Lackey.
The center fielder, number 0, Leighton Lackey.
Now, if this at-bat goes as well as his walk-up song is, I think the Giants are in for a bright future in the short term. That was Headlines by the great Aubrey Graham, better known as Drake. First offering lined up the middle for a base hit. Brown rounding third will head for the plate. The throw from Williamson, a silver bullet. Vaughn unable to catch it and make the tag. So Jana Brown scores from second. Lackey's into second. And the Giants, for the first time since the bottom of the first, scratch across a run.
Number 6, Tanner Vicendisi.
As we're going to have another pinch hitter, it's going to be Tanner Vicendisi, representing the East Stroudsburg Warriors, hailing from Ellicott City, Maryland.
Again, the Giants emptying the benches. This is now their 6th pinch hitter of the evening. Hoping to claw back from a now 9-run deficit.
First pitch to Vicendisi, inside for a ball.
Pulling in 6 pinch hitters, a last-ditch effort to score some runs.
That one getting away from Vaughn. The throw down to third offline and not in time. So Lackey slides into third safely. The count now 2-0 on Vicendisi. Going to be a rising junior for the Warriors. Has recorded just 5 hits over his first 2 seasons. Recording 5 RBIs, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Waiting on deck is the leadoff hitter, A.J. Martin. The 2-0 pitch, that one fouled off. A good bounce back there for Stevens, who's been one of the best relievers in the entire Ripken League this season. One of 4 Big Train pitchers to be named an All-Star, along with Max Martzoff, Aiden Rittenauer, and Kevin Scully. The 2-1, that one a big swing and a miss. Boy, you could hear the snap in Vaughn's glove from a ways away. The count now 2-2 on Vicendisi. The 2-2, whoa! That fastball running a little upstairs. That'll bring the count full on Vicendisi. Again, Martin on deck. We've talked a handful of times this season about how much run is on Stevens' fastball. It almost goes down and then back up. The full count pitch, that one upstairs for ball 4. A little too much run on those last 2 fastballs for Stevens. That'll put runners on the corners with no outs for A.J. Martin.
Number 7, A.J. Martin.
As we're going to have a mound visit, it's going to be the Bama boys talking Stevens and Luke Vaughn.
Going to be joined by pitching coach Craig Lopez. Now, we've mentioned Martin has been a dangerous bat for the Giants, giving the Big Train a lot of trouble all season long. Recorded 2 grand slams at Shirley Povich Field. He's been known to come up big in clutch moments.
It's been A.J. Martin and Jamie Quinn Irons for the Alexandria Aces that have been the 2 main Big Train killers. Jamie Quinn Irons, one of the best hitters in the Ripken League, will have to likely put on a solid performance tomorrow if the Aces want to keep their season alive after getting upset earlier tonight by a score of 4-3 at Frank Mann Field. The 5th-seeded Southern Maryland Senators looking to play Cinderella. As the mound visit will conclude, Martin will step up to the plate. A.J. Martin still undecided on where he will play his college baseball. A transfer from Kaskaskia College, as he'll foul the first pitch off down the first base line. Also sports a heck of a mullet. You can't really see it under his helmet, but was able to get a pretty good look at it during batting practice. Here comes the 0-1. That one in there for strike 2. Here comes the 0-2 to Martin. That one grounded over to Wesley at third. Bobbles it, recovers, fires over to first. The scoop by Gonzalez is made for the out. Gonzalez has been an absolute vacuum at first base all
Right
season
fielder,
long.
Number 23, Aiden Robbins.
This Ndezi able to advance to second, so that's now 2 runners in scoring position for the Giants. Aiden Robbins stepping up to the plate with 1 out. The Giants still trail by 9.
Stevens with a tall task ahead of him. Robbins has reached base on all 4 at-bats so far this evening.
First pitch, a big swing and a miss. I did not see that baseball leave Stevens' hand. Between him and Luke Vaughn, I did not see the baseball. 0-1 low and outside for a ball. Also struggled seeing that one.
Stevens has so much power and speed behind his fastball.
This Big Train bullpen just chock full of velocity. Here comes the 1-1. Fastball swung on and missed for strike 2. As Stevens will step up for a moment. Again, Visindisi on second, Lackey at third. Waiting on deck is Danny Sheeler. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. That one bouncing in the dirt. Recovered by Vaughn. Throws it over to first in time to complete the strikeout. So the Big Train 1 out away from putting a stamp
The first baseman, number 46,
on an absolutely
Danny
dominant performance here in
Sheeler.
Gaithersburg. Danny Sheeler representing the last hope for Gaithersburg. Sheeler digs in, as does Stevens. Here comes the first offering. That one upstairs for a ball. Again, it's Stevens throwing to Luke Vaughn. Here comes the 1-0. That one a big swing and a miss for a strike. That fastball just so hard to catch up to. Stevens has got SEC level mustard. The 1-1. That one high for ball 2. Waiting on deck is Casey Gibbs. Struck out in his first at-bat. The 2-1 in there for a strike. Stevens now just 1 strike away from ending it.
Now Danny Sheeler, we've nicknamed him the Magic Man for his love of learning magic and also for his success at the plate against the Big Train. Has been nicknamed the Train Conductor.
Jonathan Stevens, Birmingham's finest, representing the University of Alabama. The 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3, and that'll do it. The Bethesda Big Train with a statement win here in Game 1 of the LCS semis. Bethesda 11, Gaithersburg 2.
Have a great night, everybody.
The 3rd-seeded Big Train with their first win this season here at Criswell Automotive Field. It's been a house of horrors in the regular season, but when the postseason comes around, it's almost like a switch flips. Something happens. The universe is altered to where no matter how far or no matter how close the Big Train are to the dominance they have enacted on the Ripken League since their inception in 1999, when the playoffs happen, they go up a level. That's exactly what we saw tonight.
Now tonight, that score reflecting the way the Big Train started the season. Their very first game with Gaithersburg, they took a dominant 12-3 win. Tonight, taking a dominant 11-2 win. Every facet of the game showed up tonight. Defense was on top of it. The pitching was phenomenal. And the offense was going yard. They remained consistent throughout the game. We've mentioned how often throughout the season, you've seen the Big Train take a couple of runs early on and then the bats go cold in the middle innings. This time, the middle of the game was when the Big Train got their most runs, putting up a 2-spot in the top of the 4th, followed by a 3-spot, followed by another run in the top of the 6th. They stayed consistent throughout the game, and that is what brought them so much success here at Criswell Automotive.
So both lower seeds in the Ripken League semis pulling off, at least on paper, considered to be upsets today. The Big Train and the Senators both taking game 1 in their respective semifinal series. Now the Giants, obviously best of the Big Train in the win column this season, but the Big Train reestablishing what has been the patriarchy for almost all of the Ripken League, for almost all of both teams' existence. Game 2 will be tomorrow at Shirley Povich Field. First pitch is set for 7 o'clock. Phoebe Winters will be on the call. Myself, Quentin Corpuel, will be on color. The Big Train will look to sweep the Gaithersburg Giants 2-0 and head back to the LCS Finals once again. For our producer, Jordan Parham, for our producer, Lindsey Morin, for executive producer and general manager, Harrison Myers, for my broadcast partner, Phoebe Winters, I'm Quentin Corpuel.